It's Winning Wednesday. You already know the vibes. It's your girl, Brandy Harvey. Drop where you're listening from, where you're watching from. It's Winning Wednesday. Y'all won't even believe what your girl has been through to get here today. How y'all doing? Be sure to drop where you listen from in the chat, where you watching from. I am doing this on my phone now because let me just go ahead and tell y'all. How y'all doing? It's Winning Wednesday. Atlanta, Georgia's in the building. Cleveland, Ohio is most definitely in the house. Y'all, technology is something. Let me just go ahead and say that. Technology is something because I got to tell y'all, as y'all come on in and drop where y'all are listening from, where you watching from, I got to tell y'all, your girl has been on here for a whole hour. A whole hour, okay? A whole hour. And Nakia and I have been talking the whole time. I go run to the bathroom. I come back. They're saying your camera is not working, okay? And y'all, so the camera's not working, and we could not get this thing back going. It is crazy, but it's still a Winning Wednesday. How y'all doing today? I'm actually logging in from my iPad. So I'm like about to check in from my iPad so I can see what y'all talking about, what y'all doing. It's good to see y'all. Y'all came in for the vision board course today, and I am so excited to talk about the vision board course because this is something that we have been working on as a team. We are excited about it. We were looking forward to this, and y'all, technology just had its way today, but we made it. Better late than never. How y'all doing today? It's Winning Wednesday. I'm pulling up while I wait for people to come on in here. I am pulling up the course so I can watch along with you guys, so I can see the comments and I can know what's going on. How y'all doing? So yeah, I'm over here trying to see the comments. So as they come in. But okay, she cute though. Can we just talk about it? Look, I got me pulled up on the screen or whatever. Listen, good to see y'all. North Carolina's in the building. Arkansas is in the building. How you doing, Marquise? Good to see you. ATL is in the building. Griffin, Georgia is in the building. How y'all doing today? Richmond, Virginia is in the building. Good to see y'all today. It is a winning Wednesday. Whoo, child. Let me go ahead and get a deep breath. Okay. Can I just woosah out for a second? Cause I know I be stressing Nakia out. So shout out to Nakia at Vaughn Power Talks who runs our social media and keeps me together behind the scenes. Cause I know I had Nakia stressed out today. So Atlanta, Georgia, good to see y'all in the building. I'm excited for y'all. Thank y'all for everybody who has already purchased the course. My people in Nigeria, good to see y'all. Good to see you in the building. Digital Jada's in the building. Good to see you. Barbados is in the building. We are international because it's Winning Wednesday. We are Winning Wednesday all across the world. Arizona's in the building. Good to see y'all today. So I had notes and everything. I didn't got all kind of discombobulated, y'all. I got all kind of discombobulated because your girl when she pull out her legal pad, she gets serious. You know what I'm saying? She gets serious when she got her legal pad. So I had my legal pad out. Y'all see that? I had notes ready. So we still gonna get to it. I had slides, y'all. I had whole slides done. I was sitting up last night working on slides. The Lord said you didn't need them slides. God said you didn't need the slides. You know the material. Listen, they said it's okay, Brandy. We here for you. Whitney said, "Good job, Nakia." Okay, Dallas, Texas, Namibia is in the building. Good to see you guys. It is Winning Wednesday. So, casting vision is what we are doing today. Casting vision is what we're doing for all those people who have already purchased the vision board course. Go ahead and drop a emoji, drop a heart in the chat if you have already purchased the vision board course. I am so grateful. Thank you so much. If you have not purchased it, today is your day, baby. $19.99. How much more impact can you get for a cool, smooth $20? I mean, come on now. You can't even beat that. That's like giving this material away. But why is it so important to give this away in this way? Because it is springtime. Spring and sprung. So all of y'all who couldn't write them goals down and do them vision boards in January, now is your time. The weather is changing. The season has changed. You seeing some blooms on the trees. The weather, you starting to do a walk outside. You starting to do your exercise movements outside. This is your time to start moving your life in the direction that you want it to go. And so this is the perfect time. So this is why we're casting vision today. So here's the thing about the vision board course. This is teaching you to dream big, to set clear goals, but most important, to bring your vision to life. Bring your vision to life. How many people? I want you to put a hand in the chat if you are ready to bring your vision to life, no matter what it is. I want you to go ahead, put your hand, your praise hands, put your clap hands, put your bank hand bounce hands on in the chat if you are ready to bring your vision to life. I know I am. I am so ready to bring my big vision to life. If you've purchased the vision board course, then you've seen my 2025 vision board in digital form. All right. If you purchased it, you have seen it. So you know your girl ain't playing no games, right? You know she is not playing no games. So everybody who has dropped that in there, Kelly's World, good to see you in the building. Thank you for your support. I'm so grateful. This is such a great opportunity. But here's why casting vision is so important, but to bring your vision to life. The vision board is a visual roadmap. I want you to think of the roadmap. See, now we got GPS. We just get on our phone, we get on Google Maps, we get on Waze, we got on all the shortcuts to get us to where we want to go. Imagine if you were to create your own GPS system, your own roadmap, your own vision to where you want your life to go, and you actually get there. Now, do y'all remember how we used to use maps back in the day? Now, it's some people on the chat that's too young. I already know some of y'all too young. Nakia, she too young. Digital Jada, they too young. They never had to go to nobody gas station and pull out and buy a map. They never had to do it. But y'all, can I tell y'all a story about how a roadmap is so important? In 2005, when I graduated from college from the Ohio State University, my sister and I graduated together, and we set out to move to Los Angeles 20 years ago. Oh my God. When I was thinking about this yesterday, I was like, golly, Brandy, that's been 20 years. I can't even believe that. But 20 years ago, you guys, 20 years ago, 2005, we are moving to Los Angeles, California. And do you know what we had to do in 2005, in the year of our Lord in 2005? We got a map from the gas station and we printed off MapQuest directions off the printer before we left to set out on our road trip. Can y'all believe 20 years ago, we did not have it on our phone to set it up there and follow play by play, and we could just drive and not worry and they tell us when to turn? No, we actually had to pull out and print out directions to where we wanted to go. But here's what I know we needed. We needed 20 years ago a visual representation of the destination that we were trying to get to. We needed to see it. We needed to have it printed out. We need to have it on some paper. We need to have it ready for us to go, right? But here's the thing. That journey only lasted 3 days, baby. It was 3 days of hell in the car with 2 boyfriends and 2 girls, baby, who fell out with each other in that 3 days and had an attitude with each other. By the time we got to Arizona, honey, we was riding. Me and Carly was riding in one car and they was riding in another car. Okay. But we had our visual representation of where we wanted our life to go, where we wanted our journey to end. And so from Columbus, Ohio to Los Angeles, California, we had the roadmap. Isn't that something that speaks right now to your life? Of that, if you had a clear, concise, direct roadmap of to say, I am here today, but by next month, by next quarter, by next year, in the next 5 years, this is where I'm going to land. Imagine how our lives start to unfold. That's the beauty of the vision board. And I really want you to know that, the vision board is not just about cutting out pretty pictures and putting it on the Instagram. On your, what you put the poster board on, you put on your refrigerator, you put on your closet, you put on your mirror, you put on your wall somewhere. Usually 9 times out of 10, you have this vision board somewhere. But it's not just about the cutting out the pretty pictures. This vision board is about you being able to look at where you want your life to go every single day. No matter what your conditions are, no matter where you live right now, no matter what job you have right now, there is something that you can envision for yourself that puts you in a better position. And you get to walk in that space. You get to walk right into it. I have post-it notes. All around my house. I have post-it notes on my desk. I have post-it notes on my tablet. I have post-it notes on my mirror. And so because I need a visual roadmap everywhere I go, I have post-it notes on my mirror that I use every morning when I walk into that bathroom. I have these post-it notes that remind me that I am captivating, that I am loved, and that God wants me to prosper. Isn't that something that every morning when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I see when I walk into that bathroom is I get to see that God already wants me to win. How can I lose, right? And so because I know God only wants the best for me, he only wants me to prosper, I got to do my part. And so because doing my part, that means I got to have it up looking at me. I have to be looking at it every single time, every moment of the day. And so sometimes we all need a little motivation, right? There are some days that we're going to be happy. There are going to be some days we sad. Some days we need a kick in the pants. Some days somebody needs to tell us to get our, what together. Whatever it is, right? However life tends to be challenging, you get to choose a new direction at any given moment. And so here's the power of vision boards. What's the chat talking about? Let's see. It's in your spirit. Somebody said it's in your spirit. Somebody said, you're authentic, coach. I'm driving, but I'm ready. Okay, Samantha says I'm authentic, but I'm driving. We're going to get to why authenticity is so important. Perfect timing to tune in. We got AAA would give us directions every time we did a road trip. Wow, 30 years ago. You see how life has changed, right? We see just how life has really picked up, and if you are not moving with it, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be left behind. So imagine if you don't move with the currency and the frequency of your life. Imagine if you don't power your life forward. Imagine if you keep staying stuck, doing the same thing, the same mundane thing, the same routine, the same procrastination, the same waiting and wishing and hoping. But the power is going to be when you start to shift your mind in a direction that says, my life is so valuable. It's so important. And I get to choose a new direction. Today is your day to choose a new direction. Today is your day. So let's talk about the power of vision boards. How many people, I want you to raise your hand and put this in the chat. Raise your hand, put your little praise hands in the chat if you already have a vision board done. I want you to go ahead and put it in the chat. Go ahead and put it in the chat for me if you have your vision board already done. Somebody said, I needed this today. Hey, hello, Brandy. I need this. You know why you need this? Because you're ready for your life to take an upswing, right? You are ready for your life to go up in the best direction possible. You are ready for your life to you ready to glow up. So here's what I want to ask you. What are you willing to give up in this season to go up? What are you willing to give up to go up? Lent started, I don't know, we're almost coming to the end of Lent, right? For those people who celebrate the Lent season, if that's a part of your spiritual practice or religious practice, Lent season is about to come to a close. But they said, Miss Patrice said hands raised, Whitney's hands raised, Marquise, her hands are raised. We're about to come into the close of Lent season. But when I asked you the question, what are you willing to give up in order to go up? What are you willing to give up in order to go up in this season of your life? This is what I'm asking at. So I'm gonna tell y'all honest, hey, truth time. Okay, so this is a real true story. Y'all remember real world? They be like true story. This is a true story. Okay, we ain't making nothing up. It's all facts, not fiction. So February 27th. Let me go ahead and tell y'all this. February 27th. I was spoken at an event, and if you've been on my Winning Wednesday before, you've already heard this story before. I started 1 month ago, but tore it up. I started 1 month ago, but weed. So Celeste said she ready to give up some weed. Okay, I know that. Wanting to give up procrastinating. Okay, I love that. Okay, come on, Celeste, you my friend. Here goes Celeste. She my friend. So February 27th, I spoke at an event. I speak at an event on February 27th. Afterwards, I go to hang out, to have dinner. So while I'm having dinner, of course, I'm like, well, let me get a glass of wine. Now, at this point, y'all, with my big 42-year-old self, I didn't already realize that alcohol is really not my friend. And I don't know if some of y'all can attest to this in the chat, but you know, when you used to drink back in the day, right? You used to drink alcohol back in the day, you had an easier bounce back, right? You 20 something, you could go to work the next day, you can do all the things, right? And for some reason, you know, as you get older, you can't do that anymore, right? So, um, so February 27th, I go speak at an event, I go to dinner, I have one glass of red wine. I have one glass of wine. So I'm sitting there and I'm having this wine and one glass. I get home, I'm like, golly, I do not feel good. That just did not make me feel good. The next morning, I have horrible sleep. I'm in and out of sleep all night. And then the next morning, I have a terrible workout. I mean, the whole time, one glass of wine. The next day, I said, Brandy, why do you keep doing this to yourself? If you love yourself, like you say you do, if you love your body the way you say you do, why do you keep wanting yourself to feel like this? So this is probably like a week before Lent was starting. I think maybe this was like a week before Lent was starting. I think Lent might have been jumping off the next week. Kim said, I've reduced time spent on social media. Ray said, my vision board is done. I have sealed it with a Bible verse from Habakkuk 2 and 3. Celeste said, me and alcohol are not friends in capital letters. So y'all, I had to ask myself, I said, Brandy, why do you want to keep doing this? What are you willing to give up in this season to take your life to the next level? Y'all, I asked myself, I'm at the gym because I'm not having a great workout. I'm feeling awful trying to get through this workout. And I said to myself, Brandy, in this season of your life, what are you willing to give up to go to the next level? You have things that you want to do physically. You have things that you are trying to do in your career, in your profession. You're trying to take some things to the next level. What are you willing to give up? And that February 27th was the last day I had alcohol. I have not had alcohol since. And here's what I know. For some people who don't drink, boom, that's like, oh, that's easy money. Baby, I understand. But for some of these social folks like myself, you know, sometimes being social comes with a cocktail. But I have given it up. And so this is now we're approaching almost 2 months of not having alcohol, and I feel the uptick in my life. And so I'm going to ask you another question. I'm going to ask it to you again. What are you willing to give up in this season to go up? Because it's going to require something from us. Our dreams, our visions, our goals, our purpose, it requires something from us. And so here's what I know you're going to have to do, because this is the thing I'm going to have to, because I'm social, y'all. I don't be outside, but I be outside. Okay. I be outside a little bit. I be at the events. Okay. And here's what I realized. In a world full of distractions, I could use a little mental focus. In a world full of distractions. In a world full of distractions on social media, in a world full of ads, in a world full of television, a world full of stimulation, I could use some mental focus. So just like we train our bodies, We got to begin to train our minds. But in order to start to train our minds, what are we going to have to do? I think the first thing we have to do is we got to build the belief. See, I have gone to social events. I just was in Vegas last week, y'all. I was in Vegas last week. And I did not have any alcohol because I have built the belief in myself, because I have said I got to be driven by the results in my life. I want to be driven by the results. There are things that I want to accomplish, and alcohol is not going to help me get to them. So because I've given it up, I don't even think about it. I was at Carrie Underwood, didn't have no drinks. I went to the Carrie Underwood concert, y'all, at her residency, didn't have no drinks. Went to Bruno Mars Club, the Pinky Ring, didn't have one drink. Right? Because I have built the belief in myself. And so in this season, to get that mental clarity, to get that focus, to remove the distractions, you got to first build the belief. You have got to build the belief in yourself. And that's what this vision board course is all about. It's really about you taking the steps to start to believe that you are worthy of the life you say you want. So what y'all saying in the chat? They saying they giving up wasteful spending, sleep and social media has been an issue for them. Reduced time on social media, just completed Ramadan April 1st, sleep, I guess, comfort, I guess. Whitney, you might have to dive into that a little more for me. Become a better time manager. I have to make space for my sleep hygiene. Everybody's talking about sleep. How none of y'all ain't getting no sleep out here? What y'all doing? Y'all not going to get no sleep. Lisa said, amen to that. I need to build the belief. I'm going to have to, Charlene says, I'm going to have to release doubt to start my business. That's the first thing you got to do. You got to release the doubt. You have to believe that your dream you are so worthy of the thing you dream about. You are so worthy of the thing you think about. You are worthy and deserving of a much better life, of walking in your purpose. Imagine what your life is going to look like 1 year from now if you remove the doubt. 1 year from now, I want to see what your life is going to look like when you start sleeping better. 1 year from now, if you start to pull back on social media and start to pour into yourself, what can your life look like? Let me give y'all a story. Story time. Y'all know I stay with a story. Y'all know your girl got a story. Okay. So I was just having this conversation with my good sis, Carly. I was talking to Carly. And when I was talking to my sister, Carly, we were talking about my nephew, BJ. And my nephew is 8 years old. He'll be 9 years old. He plays AAU basketball, and he is very good for his level, right? He's very good. No denying that. The boy is a hooper, right? But when we look back a year ago, BJ was riding that bench a lot. Now, he was good. He had good skills as a young person. You could tell he's athletic. He has heart. He plays with passion. He enjoys the game. But 1 year ago, he was playing in a game and he said, I want to be in the All-Star. He said, I want to make the All-Star team. And his father told him, if you want to make the All-Star team, you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to work to make the All-Star team. So he started training. The boy trains 4 to 5 days a week. So don't tell me, y'all, okay, what you can't do. Boy, 8 years old. Now, yeah, he got somebody to drive him. He ain't got to drive himself. But he's 8 years old. He's training 4 to 5 days a week, every week without fail. And because he is training 4 to 5 days a week without fail, like no exceptions, he is 1,000 times better. He is 10x his performance. Now, he made All-Star team this year. He made it to the county team. They lost the game before they went to the states. They went to the regional game, and then they were going to the states. They lost before that, which was totally fine. He said, I just want to make the All-Star team. He made the All-Star team. He made the county team. He made the regional team this year. And this year, for the very first time, 2 weeks ago, he got MVP. And that was his goal. It came to life. And so I say that because we have watched him develop over this last year, and it has been remarkable. And what we all keep saying, you put the work in. You have put the work in. You didn't give up on yourself. You believed in yourself every single time. He knew he wasn't the best. He said, I'm going to get better. And that's all we can do. That belief, when we start to believe that, build that belief in ourselves, our life starts to take off. And if we are willing to just commit, if we're willing to commit, and here's what I tell you guys all the time, a commitment is not a feeling, it's an agreement. It's an agreement. Commitment is not a feeling. You have to do things when you don't feel like doing it for you to build that belief in yourself. You have to do it when you don't feel 100%. That's when you start to see the results. What y'all saying in this chat? Let me see. We got the sleep, we got the amen, we got the I gotta release. Self-talk. I now tell myself everything is working out for my good. When things go wrong, it's working out for my good. Nikki said we love a story time. Waiting for the right time to launch my business. Well, waiting for the right time ain't never gonna be the right time. It's always gonna be something that get in the way, right? It's never gonna be the right time, right? We've seen more millionaires become millionaires when do we see the last crop of major millionaires and people come to the forefront, whether that's in social media, content, influencers, business, real estate? When do we see the last boom? In the pandemic, when it wasn't the right time, when things were not all hunky-dory, when all the cars and the chips were not all in your favor. People were all dealing with a number of obstacles in their lives. And guess what? There were some people who got rich and there were some people who became poor. And that's in spirit, not just in money. Okay, so we're not going to wait to the right time. Now is the right time. Now is the right time. Rose said, Brandy, you look so fly. From the makeup to the hair to the bangles. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Listen, if we're going to talk about some vision, we better look like story time. So, y'all, I'm in Vegas the other day. Thank you, Rose. I appreciate that. So, I'm in Vegas the other day, and I was at a great place to work. I was at a great place to work summit. And I had never been to a great place to work summit. I was invited to come, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, phenomenal. I was like, first of all, I got to step my game up. Okay. I want to be speaking. I'm going to be speaking on that stage. Okay. And stages like that. So I'm at a great place to work. And if you're not familiar, a great place to work is really like a certificate that businesses get, and they become certified as a great place to work. They get that stamp of approval on their business. So you got places like the Marriott company and Hilton, and multiple different companies that have received so financial companies, tech companies, all of these companies all around the world have been certified as a great place to work. It helps boost recruiting. It helps get better people coming over to work for them when they are a certified place, a great place to work. And so I'm at this summit. It's almost 3,000 people there. I mean, well done from top to bottom. And so the first day that I'm there, I walk into breakfast and I walk in and it's tables and the buffets and multiple buffets and all, it's huge. And I walk in, I'm like, oh, okay, Brandy, like high school. It's like the high school cafeteria. Like, okay, where do I sit? And so I'm looking around and I find a seat at a table. I go over, I said, hey, is anybody sitting here? They said, no, you are. Come on and join us. So I sit down, we all start talking, and I'm sitting with people from Serbia. I'm sitting with people from Florida. I'm sitting with people from New York. I mean, in all different areas and walks of life that I'm like, wow, I would have never met these people anywhere else. And so, of course, you're asking like, well, what do you do? And, da, da, da. And so people ask me, what did I do? I said, I'm a creator. And they said, well, what do you create? And I said, I create media. I create content. I have a YouTube talk show called Vault Empowers Talks, where I don't just scratch the surface. I dive deep into the lives of some of the world's most interesting change makers and influential change makers. And I said, I create different content. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm a global teacher, producer, all the things, right? So we're talking. As soon as I said I was a creator, and I said I produce and create content in media, y'all, they were like, the lady at the table said, absolutely, you look just like a content creator. I mean, you look like a creator. I mean, the gold jewelry and the bangles, and you just are so, I mean, so well put together. And you know, all the things. I said, well, thank you. I said, that's my first win of the day. It's 7:30 in the morning. I said, it's the first win of the day. I said, I look like the part I play. I look like the part I play. So if you say that you have a dream, a goal, a vision, do you look like the part you play when you walk out into the world? Will people even believe you when you say it? See, what I don't want is people like, would have never, doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't make me, I couldn't call it. I am glad, right, that people say to me, you look like you got a show. You look like you host a show. You look like you create content. You look like an influencer. Cool. Some people might not like those titles, but I embrace those titles because that's exactly what I do. And so I want people to say, yeah, I look like the part I want to play. You know, my father used to always say, you gotta practice how you want to play. You gotta practice how you want to play the game. I remember one of my brothers had a girlfriend back in high school, and she came over to the house one day, and she said, "Oh, I want to be a surgeon." And he was like, "You want to be a surgeon? Now you got color hair, all these piercings, you got all these tattoos. Nothing's wrong with that. So don't even get in your feelings in the comments. Nothing's wrong with that." But if the surgeon that's about to perform your surgery walked in, now I've had one major surgery in my life, and let me tell you, if she walked in and she got tattoos all over the place and color hair and piercings all over, I'm I, I'm gonna be questioning some stuff, right? You got to practice how you want to play. You got to practice how you want to play, and I think that's what we have to realize in this season of our lives is going to require us to practice how we want to play the game. And so you are going to have to build your belief in who you are, what you do, and walk boldly out into that every single day. You know, I have embraced the fact when I was a personal trainer and people saw me out every single day, I had on workout clothes and I had to cut arms out and all of that because I looked like the part that I was playing. You know, when I was a nonprofit executive, when you saw me walking out, I had on a blazer, I had on a suit, I had a dress, I had on heels on. I looked like the profession that I was in so that I was ready at any given time to move in the direction that my vision and my purpose was pulling me towards. All right. So here's what we got to do. We got to build our belief. We have to build our belief, just like working out every day builds our muscles. We got to start to believe in ourselves. We got to build the belief that we have in our lives. We have to build that belief. And so your dreams, your vision, how you build your success, how you build that contentment in your life is going to be 100% solely on you. You are not going to be able to call nobody. You're not going to be able to outsource this. You are going to have to do this work on your own. So you got to see it and make it possible. You have to see it. And that's what the vision board is all about. It's about you getting a visual representation of who you are, where you want to go, and how to get there. All right. So here's how you're going to get there. Everybody looking for the how-tos for all my note takers in the room. Here, my note takers, get your notepads out. Here's your notepads. Number one, you have got to be bold when you are making this vision board. You got to be bold. This is not the time to play small. This is not the time to play small. This ain't the time to be like, oh, I kind of want I just want a little house. I just want a little car. I just want a little book. I just want a little podcast. No, you're not saying that to yourself because for where your vision is going to take you, it's going to be big. You want it to blow. You want it to be popping. So it's going to require you to be bold. So when you start to write these goals down and you start to take those steps, I want you to write bold things. I want you to put bold action items on this vision board, bold pictures of what you want your future to look like. So that when you see that, it looks bright, it looks appetizing, it looks tantalizing, it looks like something I want to walk into. Why would you want to put a vision on the board and it ain't even something you really want? It's like, There are too many people out here wading in the pool of mediocrity. You do not have to jump in. There are too many people, I'm going to say it again. There are too many people wading in the pool of mediocrity. You do not have to jump in. You can be extraordinary in this life. The average person will remain average. What is going to separate you from the pack? All right. What's going to separate you? I need you to go ahead and drop it in the chat. So what's that first bold thing that you are going to do? I saw people talk about they're going to get their sleep together and they're going to wait till the right time to start their business and they're going to give up social media. But what's the bold thing that you are going to, that's your dream is pushing you, nudging you, calling you to do? What's that bold thing that you're going to do? I want you to drop it in the chat for me. Drop it in the chat and let me know what's that bold thing that you are moving towards in 2025 that is going to set your life apart from everybody else. And I don't want you to feel no shame about it. You know why I want you to feel no shame about it? Because you have not, because you ask not. You don't see it because you don't say it. And so in this season of your life, you better be willing to say the thing out loud that you want. Because the moment we say it, we put out a frequency, a vibration. It's like a megaphone out into the world that says, this is what I'm going to accomplish. So often we shrink down and we play small in spaces. We play small in our relationships. We play small at school. We play small in our church auxiliary boards. We play small in the sorority meeting. We play small in our relationships. We're playing small everywhere. This is your opportunity to step boldly into what you know you have a desire for in your life. Let's see. Y'all not doing the chat. They said, "Oh, we not trying to we don't want to say nothing, Brandy." Oh, y'all, here you go. There y'all go. It got stuck. I had to look, it got stuck. You see what happens when things get stuck? We don't have the right vantage point. We don't have the right understanding because we get stuck. Okay. And that's what happened in these comments, y'all. They got stuck. All right, here we go. They said Nicole said absolutely look the part you want to play. Don't play small. You're spot on. Fortune favors the brave. Come on, Celeste. You all the way down at the bottom of my notes. Girl, Celeste. You at the head of the class today, Celeste. Go ahead. High five. Gold star for Celeste. Okay, fortune favors the brave. I'm glad I caught this live. Good info. Bold action plans. Investing. Ooh, Charlotte says she's investing. Ray said Matthew 7:7. Baby, you gonna have to, you drop the address, but we don't know who live there. Okay, Matthew 7:7, baby, you drop the address, but baby, we confused. We don't know what the scripture is. You gotta tell us, right? You gotta tell us what that scripture is. Okay, she just dropped the address. We don't know who live there. We don't know what they got going on at that house. You gotta tell us. But here it is. You got to be bold in the season of your life. I love the investing. I just started investing myself and started, dabbling with a few investments that I'm excited for. So now I be like looking at the stocks like, oh, they up today. Oh, it's down today. I'm all in, but here's why, story time. I'm all in because when I was at, what made me want to go further in it is when I was at the Better Place to Work, and the global CEO of a great place to work. When he did his presentation, you know what he brought in? He brought in the numbers. He brought in the numbers of the CEOs that were there of these corporations that are a great place to work. CEOs that were leading, who've been at the helm and the reins of these companies, who have gone through really bleak times, and they've brought them up to like a 300 or a 10x. And so he used all the numbers and he used all the stocks. And I was like, oh, I'm up in my game. And so I came back last week up in my whole game with investments. I was up in my whole game with the investments because of that. The chat keep getting stuck. So here we go. Financial freedom though. Life ends, trading, real estate, investing, Boldness, Brandy, speaking life over myself, even when my heart whispers doubt. Ooh, come on, Jasmine. That was poetic. Honey, she said, boldness, Brandy, speaking life over myself, even when my heart whispers doubt. Get my finances in order. Said she wants to get her finances in order. I need to see my spending habits, create a budget, invest and save towards my goals. You might need you a little Dave Ramsey course. Might need a little financial freedom. Okay. Lead from the front, not from the back. We ain't never in the history of histories have we been like, let me look back and see what the leader back there doing. You never are look in a race. The leader you ain't never turn around to see the leader. Okay, Shakira ain't never turned around to see the leader. I'm going to register for a class. I want to go back to school. I have a great life already, but have been feeling these urges for over a year. I said I was going to do it last year, but I didn't. Let me pull y'all closer because I keep trying to. I got this on this desk like I'm doing something with. Let me pull these comments closer so I'm not over here stressing myself out trying to talk to y'all. Here we go. Create One Ink. Produce and post my documentary Unblemished, story of 1800s great grandfather George Merrill featuring my music. Oh, that's awesome. Going to finally start my YouTube channel. Come on, Celeste, I see you. Linking with Terica Lynn today. Okay, Miss Patrice says she getting her real estate portfolio together. I love that. Here we go. One, what I had to do was, no, I don't want to block nobody. Ray said, let me drop this in the chat. I see you, Ray. I'm catching up now. I done brought my tablet over here so I can bring a little closer, so I can shed some light on this situation. So y'all don't think I'm yelling at y'all. Asking it will be given to you. Seek and you will find it. Knock and it will be open to you. Matthew 7:7. We found out who live at the house. Okay. Celeste, one thing I had to do was get uncomfortable to get the comfort I wanted, then to get uncomfortable again to reach a different comfort. It's a process and a journey. Absolutely. I like to finish my nursing degree. Alicia says she likes to finish her nursing degree. But it will require that I work weekends and school full time. I don't know if I have the energy to do that. I'm 44. 44, you ain't dead. Girl, you ain't dead. Y'all better stop putting these parameters on y'all ages. Talking about what you can't do. Okay. We ain't talking about what we can't do. We only talking about what we can do in this season. We not talking about what we can't do. We are talking about what we can do. Okay, I'm trying to catch up on the comments, y'all. So here we go. I didn't caught up. I feel like I caught up on the I feel like I caught up on the I think they gonna load for me. I'm gonna have a reload and see if I can get them back. But I think it's just that's the thing, y'all. You got to be bold and you got to be specific about what it is you want. Whether that's the degree, whether that's the nursing degree, whether that's starting your podcast, whether that's creating the business, the documentary and putting your music in it, you got to be specific. Those are very specific things. But here's the thing. We said we want to have, Alicia says she want to have she wants to get her nursing degree, finish her nursing degree. But then here's how the doubt creeps in, Alicia. And this is not calling you out to shame you. This is calling you out to show us how we can elevate our thinking, right? I want to do this full time. It's going to require weekends and, full-time work. I don't know if I have the energy to do it. This is how the doubt creeps in, right? We make these bold declarations for our lives of how we want our lives to uptick, how we want to take an upswing in our lives. We make bold declarations. And in the same breath, we say, but I don't know if I'll have. But I don't know if I'll be able to have the energy. I don't know. I'm 44. 44 is people out here. Colonel Sanders, baby, he created that chicken. He was well past 44. Listen, I saw a post, Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren, Vera Wang, Christian Dior, Yves Saint Laurent, all of these globally known names, globally recognized iconic brands. All of the names I've said, we've all heard them before. They began when those people were over 40 years old. Taylor Sheridan, the creator of Yellowstone, creator of 1923, all of these like blockbuster hits that have come out. That man was 40 years old, sleeping in his car. Don't tell me what you can't do at 40 years old. That man was homeless, sleeping in his car at 40 years old. He was a struggling actor, and he decided, let me take a step from in front of the camera, trying to be in front of the camera, and let me see if I can run a play being behind the camera. And he went behind the camera and he started writing Yellowstone because he loved westerns, because he loved the old cowboy movies. And he said, I want to bring a modern twist to the cowboy movie, the cowboy cinema. And what has he done? He has solidified himself in television. He solidified himself. Now Taylor Sheridan, all he got to say is he got an idea, baby. They're going to put the money behind it. You know why? Because it's going to be a hit. But that man was over 40 years old. We cannot allow ourselves to doubt ourselves because we think that we're too old. Or we think that we're not, the time has run out. The time has not run out. Time has not run out. Time has not run out. Okay. So let me just say that y'all know these comments ain't really loading the way I thought they was. Alicia, Kim said, I'm 59 and just went back to college after being away for so many years. Listen, that's it. Ray, he was 60. Who was 60? Oh, Colonel Sanders was 60. He was 60 years old. Yeah, when he started KFC, he was 60. Listen, so he got years on you. Listen, but Taylor Sheridan was 40 years old, sleeping in his car, and then he wrote, and now has since written every episode of Yellowstone. What, did 5 seasons of Yellowstone? We in 2 seasons of 1923, and all fantastic shows that I love. There are no age limits. So here we are. We're gonna be bold. We're gonna get specific. But here's the most important thing. The most important thing you're gonna have to do. You got to be authentic. If you have your workbook, you have this, you have spaces to write these action items in there. If you have the vision board course and you have the workbook, you have got to be authentic and true to you. When you are casting vision for your life, this ain't your mama's vision. This ain't your daddy vision. This ain't your cousin vision. This ain't your auntie vision. This is your vision. And so if you are casting this vision for your life, you got to be authentic. It has got to be true to you. Listen, here's what we know. Lying will not help you win in this process. When you are writing down your goals and your vision, lying is not going to help you win. You got to be true. You got to be authentic. This is nobody else's expectations of you. This is nobody's ideas of who they thought you were, who they think you should be. This is about, I'm going to be bold in this season of my life to walk in this direction that I know God is calling me to walk into. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be specific, but I want to be true to myself. And at 44 years old, for somebody who's listening, to 59 years old, to 60 years old, to 30 years old, to 25 years old, wherever you fall on the spectrum of life, it is going to be imperative that you are authentic to who you are. How often are so many of us, we are dying slowly on the inside because we don't show up as our authentic selves. We suppress who we really are. Well, I can't really be myself around them. Well, you don't need to be around them. Well, I can't really show who I really am because then they won't like me. They're not your friends. Well, I can't really be how I really want to be. That's not your environment. You want to be able to be in an environment where you get to show up as your authentic self. And how many times as women, and especially as women of color, have we been in environments we've had to suppress who we are? We can't show up how we really are. We walk in the line. We got the duality. We wear the mask. We got all the things that we have going on in our lives that we are showing up, pretending to be. And then when I get home, I pretend to be something else. And then I pretend to be a great wife. And then I pretend to be a great mother. And I pretend to be a great executive. And all these things that we're just pretending to be. What if you in this season got bold and specific, but most importantly, you got honest? What if you got so honest about what it is that you want for the very first time in your life? You have been a caregiver, you have been the support, you have been the supporting role, you have done all of those things in your life. What if this time you said, bump everybody else, I'm going to be honest with myself. I am going to be honest with myself and I am going to walk into the vision that I know is purpose for my life because I deserve it. Because in 1 year I'm going to look different. Because in 1 year I got to have a different set of finances. In 1 year I got to have a different bank account. In 1 year I got to be living somewhere else. I got to be off this couch. In 1 year I got 1 year to get myself together. I got 1 year to get this book off the ground. I literally, one of my super friends just dropped in our super friends chat and gave all of us her writing plan to get her book done in the next 60 or 90 days. She's given herself 90 days to get this book done because she's like, I got to have this in place and done before I go to this really big event. I want to have my book ready. And so guess what? She's been sleeping on herself. She's been saying, oh, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna do it. And you keep procrastinating and keep putting it off. And now here's what she got. She got bold. She got specific. She put dates to it. She said, every day I'm going to write X amount of words. By this date, I'm going to have X amount of words done. By this moment, I'm going to have this. Is going to be ready to go to the editor by this date. She got specific with it. But here's the thing. She got so honest with herself. She got so honest with herself that she dropped it in for some accountability. She dropped it in the chat because she was talking about it. She said, hey, this was like 2 weeks ago. She said, hey, I need some accountability from this group to help me get my book done. You know why? Because everybody in that group, except one person, one or two people in that group have authored books. Everybody in that group has authored one or more books. So guess what? You're in a group with people who have already done the thing that you want to do. And she said, I got bold, I got specific, and then I got honest with myself. And here's where the honesty comes into play when you get held accountable. That's when you get real authentic. That's when you get real authentic, don't it? When you get held accountable. When somebody like, did you get your writing done today? Listen, all the things. Did you get your writing done today? Listen, you gonna have to start doing something. You're gonna have to start doing it. You're going to have to start writing these goals down. You're going to have to get specific, and you are going to have to get honest. So as we begin to close out, here's what you're going to do. You are going to set goals. You're going to set goals, and you are going to take action. My homegirl literally set a goal, and now she's taking action. And sometimes it's like, hey, let me share this with somebody so that I can be held accountable, so my feet can be held to the fire. But in order to take action, you got to get clear about what you want, and you got to get aligned. You got to get clear and you got to get aligned. Setting deadlines, what does it do? It helps create urgency and accountability. That's what I just said, y'all. I gave you a whole example of my homegirl who literally just this morning dropped in the chat so she could have a sense of urgency and accountability. Some of y'all just need some urgency and accountability. Some of y'all ain't been held accountable, and that's why you're not hitting these goals. But that's why I'm here, baby. That's why I'm here. Call me the sergeant at arms, okay? Because I'm gonna help get you together, okay? Because we're gonna hit some goals this year. All right. Creating a daily task for yourself. Just gave you an example. I'm gonna write X amount of words a day. I mean, it's about how bad do I want this? So here's the creating a daily task. This is what it could look like. So maybe you're not writing a book, right? Maybe you're not writing a book. Maybe you have to do something else in your life. Maybe you're trying to start your business. So here's a tool that you could be using every single day. You need to be learning something new about AI. Daily task. Every day, you need to be learning something new about AI. If you're starting a business and you're starting a business in 2025, every single day, here's a task to help you get to your goal. You're going to be learning something, a new tool, a new trick about AI. I sat in a seminar last week, and one of the VPs of Cisco, the company Cisco, senior vice president at Cisco, led a conversation around AI. And she said, everybody keeps saying, AI is going to take jobs. AI is going to take my job. AI is going to take my job. She said, no, AI is not going to take your job. AI is not going to take your job. The person who knows how to use AI is going to take your job. Boop. Clock that T. Clock that T. Okay? Clock that T. AI is not going to take your job. The person who knows how to use AI is the one that's going to take your job. And so if you're starting a business, every tech event that I have been to this year, since January, I've been to multiple tech events since January. I've sat in multiple seminars and classes since the top of the year. Every one of them says the same thing. If you are not using AI automation, you are going to be left behind. If you are not using AI and integrating into your everyday life, you are going to be left behind. And so if you're creating a business, if you're writing a book, if you're starting a show, if you're creating any type of plan, why aren't you using AI? So maybe that daily task is to learn something new about AI. Maybe it's taking an online course to learn something new that's going to help you generate business, generate leads, create marketing. How are you going to market yourself with this new business? Maybe it's watching a YouTube video like Bought Empowers Talks. Clock it. Maybe it's watching a video like Bought Empowers Talks, something that's going to stretch you, make you learn something new, have a different perspective, gather information that you would have never learned or never heard before. I think Miss Pat dropped in the chat about Terica Lynn Smith. She wouldn't have learned about Terica Lynn Smith last year until Terica Lynn sat in this chair and told her story and gave her real estate journey. Guess what? There are so many resources and tools available to you if you choose to use them. All right. So we're going to create daily tasks for ourselves every single day. Every single day, I learn something about speaking, about how to communicate. I listen to something about how to become a better communicator. Y'all, I communicate for a living. I am paid to come and speak on stages as a communicator. When I sit in a seat in the studio, I am being leaned in on to be an effective communicator. And so every single day, I make sure that part of my day, whether I started off in the morning or some point in the drive, or whether or not I'm just sitting at my desk, that I am listening to something that enhances me as a communicator. So you're going to create daily tasks for yourself. The goal is to do something every day that makes you better and one step closer to the version of you, to the version that you want to be. It's getting you one step closer to becoming a better version of yourself. It's getting you one step closer to getting your dreams and propelling them and soaring, propelling them into the future. All right. So I had some questions. I do have some questions I think that we had offline. Jasmine said, very true, Brandy, AI and Chat GPT. How to become an effective communicator, daily tasks, and here's the thing about being an effective communicator. Even if you are not trying to communicate as a podcast host or a talk show host or have a digital platform, communication is something you use every day. Baby, it's how you gonna get your man to act right. Okay, you got to become an effective communicator. It's how you gonna get your wife to get her affairs in order. Okay, because you need her to be an effective communicator. It's how the intimacy is gonna grow in your relationships. It's how you're gonna show up better on your job. It's gonna affect how you show up as a better parent. It's gonna show up how you show up as a better caregiver when we become more effective and better communicators. All right. Y'all know these Comments ain't been coming, you know. Um, Somebody said they needed the reminder. Nicole said she needed the reminder that one is never too old to pursue a dream. You're never too old. I mean, I think we live in this culture where we have put so much on youth, right? And we are afraid to get old, especially as women, right? Because men, they become the silver foxes and they become the distinguished gentlemen as they get to age, and then we just become the crazy old lady that just be running her mouth, right? But that is so far from the fact. That's so far from the truth. Like, there is so much life that we have lived to get to this point. There is so much of an advantage that we have to be able to walk boldly in our lives because we have reached these beautiful big ages. Why not take advantage of that knowledge and experience that you have so that you can forge a better path for yourself and for everybody who's coming behind you, whether that's your children, your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, your sister girlfriends, your friends, your TT, your auntie, your play cousin, for everybody else that's coming behind you. We get to forge a path. Here's the thing about life, you guys. We get to choose, but then we get to choose again. So maybe up until this point, maybe you haven't made all the right choices. Maybe you haven't hit all the marks. Maybe you haven't done it right every single time. But this is your opportunity. Then now I get to choose again. I get to choose again. Yeah, I didn't, that first baby daddy wasn't the one, right? He wasn't popping. Okay. That first husband wasn't the one. That first wife, maybe it wasn't it. I don't know. Maybe that first job, maybe that first opportunity, that first house, all of these decisions that we make along the way. Here's the thing: we get to choose and then we get to choose again. All right. We get to choose again. We get to choose again. And so many people are afraid to step out and say, oh, well, I'm too old. You're not too old. You just forgot that you get to choose again. You're not too old. You just forgot that there's another door that I get to open. You're not too old. You just forgot that there's another fork in the road and I get to choose right instead of left. I get to choose left instead of right. You are at the helm and you are at the seat of the wheel. And at any moment, you get to turn the vehicle in another direction. You don't have to be stuck. You get to choose another direction. Um, they said knowledge is power. Specific goals and dates, write down an accountability, tell the right people that will support you. Thank you for sharing the information. I had some questions that, and if Nakia, if you can drop the questions into the chat for me, if you can drop the questions into the chat, let me see. I'm going to pull up the questions. I had some questions that you guys submitted beforehand. I had a few of you guys who submitted questions beforehand that you wanted me to answer. So I'm going to answer some of those questions. But if you have them, go ahead and drop some questions in the chat that you want me to answer. I'll be happy to answer those questions for you if you have questions in the chat that you want me to answer. Let me go back to the questions over here. Confidence Journey says, thank you for these nuggets. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for sharing this. Jamel said, thank you for sharing this information. Like, there's so much value to what we know that we can do and what we can offer in this world. But we have to believe that what we have is valuable. We have to believe that what we have to say matters. We have to believe that our lives are being called to something bigger than us. Like, what I realize when I come and sit in the seat over at Vault and Powers Talks is that it's bigger than me. So when people say, oh, Brandy, you do such a great job, you let the guests talk, it's bigger than me. It's not about me. It's about what information am I trying to share with our audience? What do I want our audience to learn? What do I want them to walk away with? Because I know that it's bigger than me. And there are so many times in our lives, because we've been so used to playing small, we've been so used to scouring down, we've been so used to saying that, oh, it's not good enough and I don't matter and I'm not enough. Well, when you start to walk boldly into where God is calling you, baby, you understand that, baby, I'm here for a reason, a purpose, and a time such as this. And so I have something to say. I will be heard. I'm going to share it. I'm going to shout it from the mountaintops. if I need to, because what I have been sent to be a messenger. And because I know I've been called to be a messenger, guess what? I got to get the message out. Okay. Listen. So here was a few of the questions that I had. If you have questions, you can drop them in the chat. What's the biggest vision you've seen come to life from your own vision board? This is from Cheyenne. Cheyenne wrote, what's the biggest vision you've seen come to life from your own vision board? There have been multiple things. Can I just say that? I put on a vision board years ago that I was going to become an author. Check, did that. I put on a vision board and I wrote down for my goals that I was going to become a podcast host. And I did that. And I became a podcast host before Bought Empowers Talks. So let me just say that. I started a podcast before. It's called Beyond Her. Even before I started the book, right? I started writing. I had to get my pen game up. And so I started writing a weekly newsletter every week. And so the book, this show was a part of the big vision. Of course, I put cars, I thought like one of my vision boards had a Tesla. This was probably like 10, 12 years ago. I think I had like a Tesla on there. 10 years ago, maybe almost 10 years ago. And I was like, yeah, I ain't want that. After I saw the inside, I was like, yeah, this ain't my type of ride. I like a different type of ride, right? But I had that on my vision board, right? Because it was new, it was hot, it was like the new thing. And then when I got in it, I was like, yeah, this ain't what I want. I don't want to drive this, right? But that's the thing. We get to choose and then we get to choose again. But everything from I've hit financial goals off of my vision board. I've hit financial goals off of that. Years ago, I said I wanted a national campaign. I wanted a national campaign, and I wanted a 5-figure influencer deal. Right? I wanted a 5-figure influencer deal. It came 3 months later after I wrote it down. It was 5 figures, and it wasn't 10,000. So let me just go ahead, because we say 10,000 is 5. It definitely is, right? But it was not that. And it was for Vaseline. It was for the Vaseline campaign. I did a Vaseline campaign many, many years ago with my mom. So you can find it. So those are just a few things. Can I use a digital vision board and still manifest effectively? Absolutely. If you have downloaded the vision board course, if you have purchased it, you already know the resources, the templates that we have available that you can use to create your own digital board. As you've seen, if you have the vision board course, I implore you to go get it, because I teach you how to do it. I've done mine. I have my vision board on my phone. So I get to look at my vision board every single day on my phone. I created it on Canva. So I think what the beauty of the digital board is the fact that it's on the go. You take it everywhere you go. So even if I'm not sleeping at home, guess what? I get to wake up and still see my vision board on my phone. When I'm out of town, I don't have to be in my bathroom. I don't have to be in my bedroom. I don't have to be in my office to see my vision board. Guess what? It's on my phone. So even if you don't want to do a digital board and you want to create one because you love a little arts and crafts DIY project, baby, you love a glue stick and some glitter, I love that for you. You can do it and then take a picture and make it your screensaver. How about that? You can definitely do that. Do you believe in sharing your vision out loud or keeping it to yourself? This is from Kenzie. Kenzie says, do you believe in sharing your vision out loud or keeping it to yourself? There are some things I have kept to myself. There are some things that I have kept to myself when I've talked about my vision. There are some things that I've kept to myself. But for those things that I am really manifesting, and I'm talking about when I'm talking about relationships, when I'm talking about, money, when I'm talking about abundance, I am speaking it as though it is. I am speaking it out loud. When I'm talking about making changes to my body and the health goals and the goals that I want to, I am speaking them out loud, because I told you before that we are sending out a vibration. Right? We're sending out that vibration. Every time we open up our mouths, we're sending out that vibration, and it's putting out the frequency into the world that starts to say, oh, the receptors are out. She ready. So yeah, there are some things that I might keep to myself, but for the most part, I am speaking my dreams out loud. I am. because there are going to be so many moments where they're going to be like, she said that. How y'all see how like Twitter has this beautiful thing of reminding you of the things that you said, and now it's X. But guess what? Those people who wrote down certain things, I'm going to be married by, I'm going to work for, I'm going to win a Grammy. Guess what? They roll that beautiful being footage. Guess what? They got it. How often should I update or revisit my vision board? That's totally up to you. That's totally up to you. Like I said, my vision board is daily, and so I get to look at my vision board all the time, on my phone. If that's not something you want to do, then I think you have to set a time every single day that you want to, look and become reacquainted with your dreams, because sometimes life gets to life in. And sometimes we lose sight. We get caught up in the challenges. We get caught up in the everyday monotony of life. And what happens is we lose sight of our goals. We lose sight of our vision some days. And so that visual reminder is always good to like get us back on the frequency to say, hey, it's bigger than me. I got something bigger that I'm working towards, that I'm working for. Joy said, hi, Brandy. I stayed home from work today. I'm burned out. I woke up feeling down. I'm at the point where I'm wanting to transition. I just been thinking about putting up a vision board and this popped up. Joy, you better be a joy today. Look at God putting you. Look, this is the power of when we are on a frequency. This is the power. And you said, I stayed home from work today. I'm burned out. I woke up feeling down. I'm at the point where I'm wanting to transition. I was just thinking of putting up a vision board. You were just thinking about it. And here it is. The neurotransmitters in your mind said, baby, we're going to get you a vision board today. Okay, so you need to go ahead and click that link and go ahead and purchase that vision board course so you can get your workbook and you can start writing these goals down and you get some action steps and action items so you can start making your dreams come to reality. So if you want to transition out of a new job because you're burned out, you're overworked, you're stressed, number one, I'm going to say joy, be a joy, calm down. You got to relax. You got to take a deep breath. All right. Focus on your breathing for 10, 15, 20 minutes every single day. And you start to get that breath together and you start to meditate. Then the vision starts to become clear. All right. We have to take that time for ourselves so the vision can get clear. And so today this popped up, but then now that means I got to start making some action steps. All right. So Joy, good to see you. Glad that you are here. Ms. Rich said Louise Hay started a whole self-help development and health movement after 60. Anything is possible. Absolutely. What we speak, we create. Yes, you have to speak this into existence. I found that when you say it, you see it. Come on. Y'all already know. You gotta say it and see it. You gotta do all of that, right? So here we go. What other comments we got before I roll up out of here? CC Ivy says, as the song says, sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Absolutely. We have to encourage ourselves. Ray said, because things don't happen instantly. Habakkuk 2:3 says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. At the end, it will speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. Come on, Ray. She's over the ministry, the vision board ministry movement. Come on, Ray. She's been dropping scriptures all day up in the chat. Come on, Ray. Ray said, I'm here for the scripture. Okay. What it says in the good book. Listen, it definitely does say it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. At the end, it will speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. Come on now, church. We got to wait for it. Listen, we have to be willing to be patient. Our interview with Fawn Weaver drops tomorrow. We have an interview that's dropping with Fawn Weaver, who is the founder and CEO of Uncle Nearest, the fastest growing American whiskey and bourbon company in the world, valued at over $1 billion. I say in the interview too, because somebody offered her $2 billion. So baby, that's show me what it's worth. That's what it's been valued at. But one of the things she says in the interview was like, my business is about patience. I just dropped multi-millions, $25 million worth of whiskey in barrels that I will not see a return on for 4 years. And so there, though it may tarry, wait for it. See, we think that it's supposed to come as soon as I put the seed in the ground, baby, bloom, here we are. No, though it may tarry, though I might have to water it, though I gotta till the land, though I may have to work for it, though I may have to sweat, I might have to lose some sleep, I might have to cry a little bit, I might have to sacrifice something. I might have to test my endurance. My stamina might be tested. My endurance is going to be tested. My grit is going to be tested. Guess what? It's going to come to pass. See, the thing about it is the people who win are the people who just don't give up. That's another point that I've talked about. We talked about in an interview with Fawn Weaver that drops tomorrow, 10 a.m. on Vault and Powers. 10 a.m. Vault and Powers Talks, the new interview with Fawn Weaver drops. She says, I just didn't quit. I just didn't quit. There are people out here who might be better, who might be more talented. You might have the sauce, baby, that somebody else ain't got. Somebody in the comments on one of my interviews said, the lady said, oh, I love Brandy. Brandy is one of the best YouTube hosts and personalities. She said, you need to watch more YouTube. Baby, you might not think I'm the best, but here's where I'm going to win. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep showing up in this seat every single week. I'm going to keep showing up every single time. I'm going to keep knocking them out the park because you may think you're better than. You may think you have a better sauce. You may think you have a better recipe, but the separation factor is I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to stop. And that's going to have to be the determining and deciding factor in your life. Are you willing to keep going when everyone else falls around you? Are you willing to keep pressing towards the mark when everybody else gives up? That's what the vision is all about. That's why you keep looking at that vision board, because you say, wait, I know everybody said nobody in my family has ever become a millionaire. Nobody in my family ever went to college. Nobody in my family ever had a corporate job. Nobody in my family ever lived in this neighborhood. Nobody in my family ever had a passport. Nobody in my family. You can fill in the blank. But the difference maker for your life is going to be, am I willing to keep going when everybody else falls? Am I willing to walk through the fire when everybody else runs from the fire? Am I willing to be like a firefighter in my own life and run towards it? Am I willing to run towards the thing that I desperately desire? You got to be willing to lock that in your mind and say, this is the day, and I can't take anything less. This is the day. I'm not going to quit. You might think you're better than me. You might think you got more sauce. I'm just not going to quit. Show me yours. Just show me yours. When people tell me about my outfit choices, show me yours. Show me your show. I get how to dress. Listen, they said, come on, Bishop Brandy. Y'all already know I got a word. Are you willing to run towards the fire in your own life? So here we go. We're going to be bold in our decisions about these visions that we have for our life. You are going to go boldly and click the link and purchase your vision board course. You're going to go boldly. You're boldly going to go purchase. This is the easiest $20 you ever going to spend. Okay. Here's the thing about it, y'all. Here's the thing about it. If you're not willing to sow a $20 seed in your life, are you going to be successful? I highly doubt it. If you're not willing to say, I'm worth a $20 investment, that is a small thing to a giant. If I'm not willing to put 20 and bet on me, then I'm not. Take me out the game, coach. Take me out the game. If you're not willing to make the investment in your life, then we got to take you out the game. You're not ready. You're not ready to go in. You're not ready to go in. People say it's impossible. God says possible. Listen, God already wants me to prosper. I already know I'm winning. So here's, as I begin to close up, I'm like a Baptist preacher. As I begin to close, I was closing 20 minutes ago. Just know that. I'm like a good Baptist preacher. I won't be before you long. Listen, your life doesn't get better by chance. I want you to write this in the chat. I want you to write this in the chat. Do not leave here without writing this down. Write it in the chat, write it on your piece of paper, write it on your notes, put it in your phone, wherever you need to put this to inspire yourself, to motivate yourself, to keep digging, to keep pushing, to keep going. Life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. Life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. You are looking at people who made decisions to change. You are looking at people walking into this next destiny of their life who have just not by chance, not by happenstance, but by a clear decision to change your life for the better. Who are you going to be in the next year? Where is your life going to be in the next year? Not by chance, but because you are willing to change. Life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. If you are willing to change your life, now is the opportunity. Now is the time. We can keep wishing, we can keep wanting, or we can start working. I think in this season of our lives, we know that working is the thing that we need to do. We got to work. Life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. And so in this season of your life, what are you going to be willing to change? I asked you at the beginning of this session, what are you willing to give up in order to go up? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to give up in order to take your life to the next level? I heard earlier in the chat, we had social media, we had some negative people, we had all these things that got dropped into the chat of things that we're going to give up in order to go up. I told y'all I gave up alcohol over 40 days ago. About 40 days ago, I gave up alcohol. And so what are you willing to give up in order to go up? My last drink was February 27th. How many days is that? How many days is that? Y'all tell me in the chat how many days that is. We must move ourselves with the same energy that we encourage others, especially in the chaotic society full of reckless distractions. Write the vision, sow the seed, move with boldness and focus. Jada said the course was truly worth it. I highly recommend it if you're serious about locking it in. So glad I purchased the course. My life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. Boom. Closing with life gets better with change. Life doesn't get better. Y'all dropped it in the chat. Come on. Y'all see it. Y'all see it. Listen, Jasmine said, I'm willing to give up not being liked. Boom. The moment you realize everybody ain't gonna like you, you not everybody cup of tea. Just like you don't like every shirt that you see when you go up in the store, just like you don't like every pair of pants, everybody ain't gonna like you. You ain't everybody cup of tea. You ain't everybody's style. There's some stuff that I'm attracted to that you might not be attracted to. There's some stuff I'm drawn to that you might not be drawn to. That's okay. That's what make the world go round. That's what make us different. That's what makes us special. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us bold. All right. So your life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. What are you willing to give up in this season so you can get the life that you want? What are you willing to give up in order to go up? I want you to think about that on this winning Wednesday, because you know what? It's a winning Wednesday. You already know the vibes. It's your girl, Brandy Harvey. I will see you guys here, same place, same time next week. So I don't want you to be a stranger. I don't want you to be a stranger. I think we're going to make this a thing on YouTube now. I kind of like it. I kind of like it better on YouTube. What y'all think? I do. I think I like it better on YouTube. So, God was pushing me towards my purpose and greatness. Thank you. Gotta tune in. Listen, 49 days. Thank you, Kelly. Bam! I thought it was just 40 days, but look at abundance, Kelly. Thank you, Kelly, for clocking me. Okay. Listen, 49 days, no alcohol. It feels so good. What are you willing to give up in this season to go up? 49 days. Let me tell y'all though, the waistline is wasting. Okay. The girl is losing that little pudge that was there. Baby, she gone. She out of here. Sayonara. Okay. Toodaloo. Arrivederci. Okay, she out of here. So I'm so grateful. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to check out our interview tomorrow, dropping with the wonderful, the beautiful, the talented, the amazing, and inspiring Fawn Weaver, CEO and founder of Uncle Nearest. I will see y'all tomorrow, 10 a.m. right here, same channel, 10 a.m. New episode drops. Until next time, eat well, give a damn, Move your body every single day.